Tori Boggs here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do the basic release. And there are a few different ways that you can go into and come out of this skill, so it's really great, especially as your first releasing move in your jump rope journey. So let's jump right into the tutorial. All right, so there's a few different ways that you can do this basic release, but we're gonna just start mastering the pulling and the flicking motion that's the same in all of the different ways. So really how it's gonna vary is how you toss back one of the handles, but the pull forward into the catch is always the same in the basic release. So first we're just gonna start with a handle on the ground. So if you're right-handed, I would recommend that you're tossing your left handle on the ground, so you're keeping that right hand with the handle. If you're left-handed, of course, you're gonna have that holding handle in your left hand. So let's first start here with just a handle on the ground. Let's say we're going in our right hand to start because that's our power arm. And you're gonna be going from a back, so your handle's back, your arm is behind you, and you're gonna pull it forward. So your handle is coming along the ground. And right when your arm is just about to reach in front, like straight out in front of you, so it's not quite there yet, that's when we're gonna put an extra flick or an extra kind of throw on that rope. So how it looks quickly is, I'm gonna kind of back up a little bit, you pull forward and extra flick. And that's really what you wanna master before going into this. So a smooth pull forward, extra flick. So right when it's approaching this kind of point where the hand is straight out in front of you, that's when you're gonna put a little more power to kind of pull that handle up. So the handle is pulling, it's following along the ground, and a big pull at the end, and that's gonna flick that handle in front of you. And you're gonna have to play around a bit with how much power to put on the rope. It's not really as much as you might think. So those first few, you might have the handle come really flying above you. Be careful, of course, not to hit your face with it, and then to catch it, you're gonna just spot the handle and grab it with your left hand. So of course, if you're pulling now with your left hand, you're gonna obviously wanna spot it, catch it with your right hand. And then from here, you can go into a jump, or you can go into turns, or you can even reverse the direction of the rope. There's a lot of different ways that you can follow that basic release, but essentially just get down, starting with a handle on the ground and getting that pull forward into the flick, into the catch. So it's gonna probably take a lot of trials on that, of how hard to pull, how hard you need to do that, and then of course getting that flick down, because that's a bit tricky. But now going into the basic release, there are a lot of different ways that you can do that. And as you're learning more skills, you can also use those to come up with creative ways. For example, we're gonna do a jump and release. That will be one of them that I break down here in a second. So as you do some different skills, you can also find ways to go and release it now under the leg or something like this before pulling and catching. So there's a lot of ways that you can get creative with releases, and of course, all the skills that you've done up to this point. But the most basic one is to first start by throwing across your body. So if I'm right-handed, I'm gonna keep the handle in my right hand. So I'm gonna grab that really tight. I can throw it back with my left hand going across my body. So it's kind of like doing a side swing. So my left hand's coming over for a side swing, but I'm really just throwing it when the rope is down. And of course you wanna throw as the rope is coming from up to down so that it stays low to the ground. So then we can stop the rope, momentum, and then of course reverse direction to pull forward. Obviously we don't want to be throwing it when the rope is on its way up, because it's going to be hard to control and it will be out of control essentially. So let's say we're starting here, the rope is behind us, swing forward, the left arm comes over and tosses back that handle on the downward motion. So it's the same as like the crossover swings that we've done, or if you've done that crisscross, that's when you're letting go of the rope. So now it's off to the right side, and then you can pull it forward and flick it up and catch it from there. So that's one way to do it. So if your leading arm is the left hand, of course, you're gonna swing the rope and cross your right arm over and toss it back, and that will give you the left side as well. So there's a couple different ways to do that. And then the next step from there would be going with a spin and release. So let's say our dominant arm is our right hand. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn to the left, throw the left back, So it's kind of like a little bit along the lines of that full turn. We're throwing it back. We're continuing the turn to the left, and now we're ready to do that pull and flick. So my right arm is in position. I can now finish that out with I don't have so much space here for this, but with a pull and flick. So kind of from a faster version, this would look like, let me face you guys. So I'm holding it with my right, I'm turning to the left, throwing it back, coming around, and pulling it with my right. So let's say you want to do that on your left hand. Now you're just going to do everything but now spinning to the right direction. So I'm going to the right, I'm throwing my right back, I'm now facing the front, and I'm ready to pull with that left hand. And that's kind of what that looks like. So from your all's angle, if I'm leading with my right hand, I'm going to turn to the left, throw the left back, I'm ready to pull with the right. Oops. And if I'm now holding tight with my left hand, I'm going to turn to the right, throw back with my right hand, keep turning, and my left is now ready for that pull and catch. So there's another way that you can do that basic release. And the third way that I'm going to show you guys today is through a jump. So how that works is if I'm holding tight with my right hand, I'm just going to do a basic jump over it. And when the rope is going down, I'm jumping over the rope in that moment. I'm going to drop my left handle as it goes backwards. So it looks like this, drop and then pull again. And from the side, the left hand is coming down. Remember, I want to drop it on the way down so it stays low and controlled. And from here, I can reverse the direction and pull into that release. So if my dominant hand now is my left, I'm just going to let go of the right instead. So we do that jump, let go of the right. Now my left hand is in charge, and I can do that pull forward into that release. So it's pretty cool because you're kind of switching the direction of the rope. You can catch it, you can jump forward, you can catch it, you can go into a spin. There's a lot of different ways that you can kind of book in this skill. So you can throw into it differently, and you can also catch and continue into something really differently. It's really unique, and that's why we love releases, is because all of the unique skills that get unlocked from learning how to do this, and this is the most basic level release that is really nice to learn, especially you don't even need to really be able to jump to be able to do this. So it's also a really good skill if, let's say, you're tired or you want to take a day off from using your legs in this jumping session, but you still want to work on skills. This is a really good place to start because it's all about arm motion, so you can kind of go into this from there as well. So have fun with those basic releases, those three types. We had the throw across, we had the turn and throw, and we had the jump and throw. So there's these three different ways that you can play around with and have fun with it. Thank you guys so much for learning the basic release with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, drop a comment on this skill and any other ones that you want to see here in the future. And until next time, happy jumping.
Presented by Brooks Running.